Afternoon, guys. So it's about 3 o'clock right now. Uh, I've kind of started work on this a little bit throughout the day, just trying to get a little more ahead of this. Um, Currently, we've got 2 polyurethane bushings installed in the rear of the car on the right side. Our front right is fairly done enough for right now until I can get some new parts for that. Turns out the upper control arm, the ball joint inside there, is loose, and it's just not safe to drive on, unfortunately. I'm gonna have to wait to do much more with this for that part, anyways, until I can buy new parts, or at least a new control arm. And kind of a quick bit of information on that. Some of you guys may not know this. When you're doing those ball joints that go on the top of the knuckle on the I'm struggling with remembering what the name was for the top part of that knuckle, but we're just gonna go with that. It's the top half of the knuckle. Where the control arm meets and goes into it, the actual ball joint itself cannot be pressed out. So that kind of leaves us with a couple of with fewer options, unfortunately. Oddly enough, online on Rock Auto, you can see that they sell the ball joint, but you can't actually physically separate it from the control arm. So you have to get a whole new control arm, or get an aftermarket one, or get a custom made wishbone for it. Those are kind of our limiting factors right now. But unfortunately, the way they designed that ball joint is that the metal they used is squeezed around the ball joint. So you'll have your ball joint here, you have a piece of metal here and one here, and what they do is they press those together. So there's no way of actually physically getting that joint out of there, unless you do something crazy like you end up drilling it out, or you just find a way to cut it out of there and then cut the hole in such a way that you have an interference fit and put your new ball joint in. Personally, I'm just going to replace it. I'm going to try and mess with doing that. It's easy enough to swap out the part, and most likely there's aftermarket out there that I can get to finish it up and make it look nice. And if not, there's definitely parts that can be swapped over. So I'm going to look for some parts that I can swap. So kind of going ahead now. Now that we're caught up on that, we are putting in the upper wishbone polyurethane bushings into the rear of the car. Some of you guys might be kind of looking at this going, that looks a little weird, Brandon. Why are you doing it this way? Or that kind of looks strange. Why is it missing the sleeve that goes on these? Well, they don't always come with the sleeve. Sometimes this is how they're manufactured. This is how they want us installing them. So to clear that up, you'll have the bushing. You'll have the rubber part of this. I'm like stumbling over words like crazy. Clear mind. Clear. ADHD, be gone. Okay. All right. I think we got it. I think we're clear now. Okay. Our rubber bushing has a brass sleeve, or maybe I actually don't quite know what this material is. I think it's either brass or it's steel, but it looks like brass. Anyways, that goes down the center of the shaft inside of this rubber bushing. So that is going to be the surface the bolt will squeeze onto. So once those are in, the bolt, when it's tightened, will squeeze down on this, not that, which is important to know, because if it does, it kind of interferes a little bit with the way this is supposed to be set up. These are designed in a way where when you install them, they will have a little bit of play in them. They can look like they're a little bit loose when they shouldn't be, but as I found out, that's just the way that they're designed. So anyways, going forward, currently right now I am pressing this bushing, this rubber bushing, into the upper control arm. So I kind of wanted to get a quick video of that showing you guys exactly what I'm doing. I had so much trouble trying to do all these until I actually got figured out. And it really kind of came down to trying a different methods. We've got a full press over there. I think it's a 20 ton press, fairly smaller one. You get it from Harbor Freight, really nice. They're very, very helpful. For whatever reason, I just wasn't thinking last night when I was doing them, so I didn't even do it. But now I am, and now we're also using our ball joint remover / installing kit. As you can see, I'm using a socket, an oversized socket. It's a 30 millimeter. It's fitting right inside that, the threads of the ball joint compressor. And what we're doing is we're using the back of this socket to press it through. Now, what you guys are seeing, what you guys haven't seen is where I went ahead and I took the grease that they give you. Right? I took all that grease, I put it inside, I swirled it around on the inside of the housing, and then I also put a little bit on the ends here to help it kind of slide through. And I did that for all of them, but I will say it's kind of interesting because I can't tell if this is normal, how they're supposed to be fighting me when they go in, or if they're supposed to slide in fairly smoothly. I'm only wondering that because this is a slightly older kit. I've had this kit on the shelf for at least 3 years. So it's been there for a long time. I just haven't ever done it. But several of the bushings have gone through just fine. I had one that tore, and that might have actually been due to the fact that I was hammering on the actual upper half of the knuckle, and some metal might have snagged it, so we're kind of stuck with that. Anyways, let me go ahead and try and compress this, and I'll show you exactly what that looks like as I'm doing it. So just to kind of show you what you might expect if you are like me and you might have a bit of an older setup like I do, or an older set. So let's see. I'm just going to try and compress this down with my hand for a minute here. 7/8. So they don't fight too much. You really want to watch it. You don't want them to kind of angle off weird. You really want it to squeeze down like a mushroom, almost real smooth. Because if you get them crooked, they'll fly off and hit you in the face or something. And it looks like we did that just right. Cool. So we got the centered fairly square. Squarely. I wonder if I can use that. I might have to trademark that one. Squarely. If I seem a little off, it's probably because I've been in the garage way too long at this point. Cool. So we did it. That doesn't look too bad. I'm actually pretty satisfied with how that turned out. Let's see here. We need to put a little bit of grease on the inside. For whatever reason, that's what they were saying, is that the grease actually is put there to help your bushings rotate opposed to each other. So that's supposed to be a normal fitment for these, which is okay. So slide that one through, and you know, I'm actually going to even try and put this through right now just the way it is, and try and put it up to the car, because I really want to know, I really want to make sure that these are the correct fitment for them. Whew. Those will fight you quite a bit. There we go. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and check this, and I will bring the camera with me. Yeah. Anyways, probably not enough light in there, but it's kind of what we're messing with. I just got to get some new bolts for it. I'll probably go with something that's like anti-corrosion, whatever. Hopefully that'll be enough. But yeah, that's it. That's what I want to show you guys. And that's kind of the process. Shoot, that took 20 minutes, so probably removing them and installing them. So I'd say about 40 minutes for remove and install just for those two bushings. Like I said, still gonna need hardware, so gonna be waiting on those, I guess. Or at least till we go to Ace, go pick some up. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. I think my next video I'm gonna show you guys when I have everything else installed. I think this time I'm gonna do it a lot different. I really wanted to do this with everything off the car, but since all of the hardware and all the bolts and the bushings and everything on it is just fighting me constantly, I think I'm just going to do them one at a time, just so I have the aid of the vehicle to help me position the parts. That way I don't have to work as hard to break them free. Yeah. The only other thing about it is the rear knuckles are still going to have to come off, because those are going to need the bushings on the backs too, directly on the back of the knuckle. And I don't know, maybe I'll make a video about that. I'll just show you guys once it's done. It just takes a lot to do. Sometimes it takes a lot to set up the videos and then show you guys exactly what I'm doing, even though I don't exactly know what I'm doing. Man, we hammered that pretty good. Just trying to get those out of there. But we got some some new good stuff that will be really useful. Which actually, I'm going to show you guys exactly the product I got. This actually really made a difference. Enforce BG Enforce, part number 438. Check that out. It's a penetrating oil. It's a foaming penetrating oil too. And I think that actually had a really large impact on how this hardware was able to come loose sooner rather than later, because I didn't really fight it all that much. I sprayed some on, let it soak for about 20 minutes, and then I put in the press, or I put in the ball joint removal tool, and put a little heat on it, and it eventually popped open, and that was it. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna get back to work. I'm gonna try and get as much progress done for today, and then hopefully at least put the right side of the vehicle back down. That's kind of the goal. I want to get this right side put back down. Anyways, like, subscribe. If you enjoy my content, please give me a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give me a thumbs down. Hopefully you guys learn a little bit of something, or at least enjoy the video. So, alright guys, I'll catch you again soon. Thank you.